A few days ago, we were sweating a potential long-term absence, but today we are celebrating Montez Sweat officially returning to the field. The Chicago Bears have activated their star defensive end from the non-football illness list after a very brief scare. This is massive because our pass rush engine is back in action and ready for camp. Two things define this update: the relief that the health issue was minor and what this quick return says about our defensive outlook. This situation is evolving fast, so let us dive in. Hit that like button and subscribe. Bear down. Chicago Bears fans can finally breathe a sigh of relief as our defensive cornerstone Montez Sweat has been officially activated from the non-football illness list this Wednesday. It was a whirlwind 24 hours for us, starting Tuesday when the team suddenly placed him on the list, causing genuine concern across the fan base. According to the team announcement, the move was thankfully short-lived. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport provided some much-needed clarity, noting that the illness was minor and that we should expect him back on the field immediately. Sweat joined our roster in 2023 after a trade with the Commanders and subsequently signed a massive 4-year, $98 million extension. He proved his worth in 2025 by starting all 17 games, racking up 53 total tackles, 13 tackles for loss, and 10 sacks, while forcing 3 fumbles. Let's be real, his presence is the absolute engine of our pass rush under head coach Ben Johnson. Seeing his name on an injury report is never easy for those of us who have followed his journey since he was a first-round pick back in 2019. We know how vital his $20.9 million base salary is to our championship aspirations this season, and the quick turnaround suggests the organization is playing it safe with their stars during this demanding camp period. With Sweat back in the mix, the focus now shifts toward how the rest of the defensive rotation will adapt during the coming sessions. Does his return mean the coaching staff will scale back his reps to ensure he is fully recovered? Or will he be thrust right back into his high-volume role for the upcoming preseason games? The most surprising part of this situation is how quickly our defensive anchor managed to return to the field after being placed on the list Tuesday. Here's what people are missing when they worry about this sudden move. The organization utilized the non-football illness designation as a brief precautionary measure to ensure Montez Sweat remained fully healthy for the grind ahead. According to Ian Rappaport, this was merely a short-term issue, confirming that his status was never in long-term jeopardy. When we consider the massive investment the front office made by signing him to a 4-year, $98 million extension, it is clear that head coach Ben Johnson and the staff are prioritizing the long game. Sweat is the cornerstone of our defense, and protecting that asset is their primary directive behind closed doors. After appearing in all 17 games last season, recording 10 sacks, 53 total tackles, and 3 forced fumbles, he is the engine that keeps our pressure packages functioning at a high level. Historically, we have seen players take these temporary leaves to manage minor ailments without lingering effects, and given his professional track record, we expect him to integrate seamlessly back into the fold immediately. While his 2026 base salary of $29,000 carries a heavy weight, his production in 2025 justifies every penny spent to keep him in Chicago. As supporters, we should feel reassured that this was handled with efficiency, allowing our best defender to get back to the work of preparing for the upcoming season without missing any significant time or suffering any lasting physical setbacks. So that is the news regarding his status, but let's dive into the implications for our defense. And here's why that's a big deal for our outlook under head coach Ben Johnson. Montez Sweat is a cornerstone of this front line, and having him back on the field immediately following his short-term illness prevents any major disruption to our defensive rhythm during these critical summer workouts. We know from his 2025 production, which included 10 sacks and 13 tackles for loss, that he is the engine driving our pass rush. His presence allows our entire unit to operate with the intensity we need to succeed. Without him, our depth chart would have faced unnecessary pressure, but now we can maintain the rotation that keeps our defenders fresh for all 17 games. This stability is vital as we look toward tough matchups on the schedule ahead. We rely on his ability to disrupt the pocket to neutralize opposing quarterbacks, and having him back now ensures we are fully prepared to set the tone early in the season. When you look at our standing within the division, the margin for error is razor thin against teams like the Green Bay Packers or the Minnesota Vikings. Our playoff ambitions depend on winning those tight defensive struggles, and Sweat is the exact type of disruptive force who tilts those games in our favor. By avoiding an extended absence, we keep our defensive ceiling high and maintain our competitive edge as a legitimate threat to make a deep postseason run. Having our leader back in the mix provides the confidence we need as we continue our preparation for the upcoming campaign. Getting Montez Sweat back on the field immediately is a massive boost for our defensive front as we prepare for the grind of the upcoming season. When you look at the upside, keeping our cornerstone pass rusher healthy and integrated in training camp is vital for continuity under head coach Ben Johnson. After recording 13 tackles for loss and 10 sacks in 2025, Sweat remains the engine of our pressure package, and having him active prevents any unnecessary rust from building up during these critical practice sessions. This is where it gets real though, because we have to acknowledge the inherent risks in relying so heavily on one individual at a position that demands such physical intensity. If this short-term illness, as noted by Ian Rappaport, signals even a minor lingering issue, we must be concerned about his availability for the full 17-game slate. While some analysts argue this quick turnaround demonstrates his commitment, others across the league suggest that relying on a player with a high base salary of $20,900,000 creates a massive financial bottleneck if he is not at full strength. Personally, I think the panic surrounding a brief NFI placement is somewhat overblown, because professionals of his caliber understand how to manage their bodies during the dog days of summer. Here is where I land on this. We should be cautious but optimistic that his return signals nothing more than a minor hiccup in an otherwise productive tenure here in Chicago. We need his experience on the defensive line to anchor the unit and provide the leadership necessary for a successful campaign as we aim to improve upon last year. When you consider the rapid return of Montez Sweat to the field alongside the long-term commitment this organization has made to him, it is clear the Bears are prioritizing stability and proven production to anchor the defense under coach Ben Johnson. This development signals a clear franchise direction for the coming seasons, moving away from uncertainty and toward a foundation built on reliable veterans who can produce at a high level. We should feel confident heading into the season because Sweat is a cornerstone player who delivered 10 sacks and 13 tackles for loss in 2025. And this is the part that gets me. Seeing a quick turnaround from the NFI list provides immediate relief for our defensive front, ensuring our primary playmaker is ready for the grind of the regular season. Having a player who appeared in all 17 games last year demonstrates the kind of availability that winning teams demand. His base salary of $20,900,000 in 2026 is a significant investment. Yet, it reflects the value of a former first-round pick who has truly arrived as a force in the league. As we prepare for kickoff, we are betting on that consistent presence to elevate the entire unit. Looking ahead, do you believe Montez Sweat will surpass his 10-sack total from last season in this upcoming campaign? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Bear down. I'll see you in the next one. For now, keep your eyes locked on the latest training camp updates as our team prepares to dominate the gridiron and make a serious run at the postseason glory.